We're so honored to have with us today the fabulous Joy Cook. We're looking for a great time. We're going to have a great discussion. So, can you tell us a little about yourself, Mrs. Cook?
Absolutely. So I'm Joy Cook. I'm a life strategist and success coach. And basically, what that means is that at the core, I'm a people's advocate. I love people. I believe that we're all here for purpose. And my purpose aligned to that is to help people to really create whole life success where they're evolving personally and they're elevating professionally and financially in order to really live the life that they really desire and want to live.
It's good. So, we can get all the help um, by just joining together through the business there. Can you tell us a little about that company?
Yeah, about my company.
Yes.
Yeah, so my company is basically a coaching and consulting company, and basically we just help partner with people to one try to eliminate stress, try to eliminate overwhelm, and try to create a space where people are growing and people are elevating and people are really diving into living life fully and living life wholly and being awesome contributors to this thing, to this journey called life. Life is a journey for every person. And what I believe and what are some of the key components of my business is about coaching around well-being, finances, and relationships. And no matter where you are, no matter who you are, no matter where you live, how much money you have or don't have, those are three main components. Your well-being is the most important thing in your life because if you aren't well, then all of the other things begin to have a trickle effect. Your relationships are super important. We are here as connectors. Everybody is connected to everything in some kind of way. And we're not meant to be on earth alone. When God created Adam and Eve, he said, hey, this person needs a helpmate, right? And if that was from the beginning, we are all here together helping each other. And basically we're pieces of everybody's puzzle. It's a one big puzzle, but all of our puzzle pieces matter. And our finances really are the way that we live and we survive, and it's the world that we live in. We're no longer living in a world where we trade goats and cattle. We need to trade money, but it's not really about the money part, but it's more about the mindset and the money management in order to live the life where you can be effective, where you can lower stress, where you can be create generational change and create and build legacy, not just for yourself, but for your kids, not just for your kids, but for your kids' kids. So it's about really doing our part. I said something the other day. It's about the future is now. We're working towards the future, but every choice and decision we're making right now is the future. So really being aware and bringing helping people bring more self-awareness about who they are, where they are, and understanding that we are not just human beings. We are humans becoming consistently becoming more and more and more of whoever God created us to be.
That's it. That's so awesome. I almost want to. I know you're working on a project, this book. I'm so excited to get my hands on. Can you tell us a little about that book before we jump into the topic?
So I'm working on content, but I don't have a title for it. There's so many things. Again, when I talk about these three pillars of coaching and consulting that I do, and so the consulting also comes in from small businesses and medium-sized businesses where I do consulting work. But it's really about compiling all this content of how do you really live a life um, full and a life that encompasses joy. And joy is not something, it's different than happiness. It's not something that happens because something is happening. Joy is a state of being. It's a state of making a decision and choice of this is the being that I want to be. So it's going to be kind of include all those components. Just not sure exactly what the how it's all going to roll out and how all it's going to come together, but I know it's going to.
We're expecting to see this book anytime this year, anytime soon.
I don't know if it's going to be this year. I have so many projects that I'm working on this year and so many things I'm working on. However, I would love for it to be because I have some things for 2022 that I really want to dive into. And I've been encouraged and motivated and inspired by family member, friends, and peers and colleagues to get it done as soon as possible. So we'll see.
Yeah, I'm one of the ones that push you to do it.
Yeah, I'll keep you updated.
All right, so let's jump into this topic: the roles of women in the past, present, and in the future. What's your take?
So when we talk about the role of women, women are amazing creatures, and that's no shun on men. I don't mean that men are
Oh, you
not
gonna make
as
me jump up and run?
yeah, but I say that doesn't mean that men are not as equally amazing, but women are created with something different. And so when we talk about the past, the present, and the future and the roles of women, one thing that I want to kind of bring to awareness is the role of the woman today and in the future. The percentage of women that are starting businesses, the percentage of women that are excelling in the workplace, the percentage of women that are spearheading households, there's percentage of women that are making more income, even though there's still a pay scale gap. Women are excelling in astronomical numbers, right? Even when we think about economically, the dollar of the woman is the powerhouse. Women are the one who spend their money. Even when we think about products for men, it's women that are buying products for men more than it is men buying products for men. Women are in our households that are leading our households. We do have an unprecedented amount of households led by women. And with that being the thing, they're the ones working, they're the ones impacting the future, our kids and our youth and our future. They're the ones who are really taking on the brunt of the work. So where we're moving to in the future, it's going to be heavily driven by a lot of women influencers, by a lot of women coming into places. No different than look, we are in 2021. We have our first woman vice president, right? Or woman of color vice president. That is just the opening doors for all the things that are going to take place. When you look at Oprah, who is the highest paid woman that in the USA, of course, that's around, and all these different women. And then I think the other thing about when we think about the past, present, and future state of women, women open doors for other women, not just other women, but women open doors for other people. So when women are winning, this door is going to be open, that door is going to be open, this door is going to be open, and it's just going to be more opportunity for people to get there. So now when we think back and we talk about the role of the woman from the past, the present, and the future. So when we think about the role of the woman from the past, back where we were fighting for women's rights and when women were really in the home, being the homemaker and taking care of family and doing those things. And then we had this women's rights movements where women now will be able to work and they're able to earn an income and they're being a contributor to the household, begin to change the dynamics. There, to me, it's almost like this catch-22 where women were provided the opportunity to take part in the workforce and earn money. That also, the downfall of that is it took women out the household, right? So now women are but their roles still didn't change. They still got to be home and still have to take care of the family, still got to take care of the kids, still got to cook, still got to do all these things and operate in this role. So women become more multifunctional when we think about the roles of kind of where women are. And then when we think about the past role of women, let's look at this from a whole perspective. In the 50s, in the 40s, in the 50s, and early 60s, we were living in an environment where the woman didn't have a voice. she was muted, her value was less than, and all these things. So the mentality that was there of maybe all these ideas and all this awesomeness that was encompassed, it just wasn't able to be shared. And now when we think about the present, we have women who are doing amazing things, right? And all that does is open up more opportunity for more of that to be created in the future. I think that my my advice to men, right? My advice to men would be to, one, surround yourself with amazing women. If you are in business, get a business partner that's a woman. If you are in relationship, make sure you have a positive, healthy relationship with the woman, right? Women take a home and make it a house. They take the ingredients and they make it a meal, right? They take the dollar and they work it and turn it into more. And again, not saying that men can't do that, just the percentages of men that do it versus the percentage of women that do it, there's a vast difference in that area. But if my advice to men would be, really surround yourself with awesome women who are forward thinking, who are ambitious, who have vision, who have values and goals and integrity, and who operate in a sense of community. That's how we're all going to win. That's how our families are going to grow. That's how our communities are going to grow. That's how our businesses are going to grow. And that's how we're going to make room for everybody. I just believe that there is room for everybody to succeed. However, you have to know how to tap into the places where we can succeed, and really not only succeed by taking something away, but succeeding by also figuring out how do we contribute to the greater picture.
I would like to ask this questions. Is this what's happening with women? Is this also has a unity between not just the African women, but all women, like different colors, different nationality? Are they also coming together?
Absolutely. Because it's a woman thing. Like, women connect with women no matter what their color, no matter what their race, no matter what their background, because they understand the heart and the soul of the woman. And it doesn't matter what race you are. The power of women is in women as a whole, with all type of diversities that add into it. And I think that's also where a lot of strength and power comes from as well, because it's not just Black women, let's do this, or white women, or Asian women, or purple women, or light bulb women. Like, it's all women that are collectively seeing the power of working together and collaborating and really making things happen and make a change.
What would you put that Beyonce song, "Woman Rule the World"? You think is that happening right now, or more in the future?
Nope, it's happening. However, here's the thing. It's happening right now, but here's the thing. Women also operate with wisdom, because we also have to make sure that we hold space for our kings and for our men. We have to make sure that they're honored and they're valued and they're respected, and they also feel like that they are worthy and that they have value and prestige in their own being. We can't rule the world by belittling or diminishing the men and the kings. We have to be smart about it. Men can be the head, women are like the neck, right? Without the neck, the head can't do anything, right? And but coming from that place, from a very humbled, understanding space of knowing we're not here to overthrow, we're here to collaborate and work together, right? We need each other. How can we work collectively to reach the goals and the visions and the things in place that we need to, versus the neck trying to take off the head? Is not going to work that way, or the head trying to take off the neck. We'll all be in the shambles if we went that way.
You said the voice of the woman's are loud. How loud is it, you will say now?
Um, let's say loud, but not loud as in overpowering, not loud as in degrading, or not loud as in disruptive, but loud as in harmony, loud as in we're here, we exist, we have value, we have compassion, we nurture, we understand, and more than anything, learning how to operate with wisdom and knowledge, right? And knowing, when you have you ever sung in a choir before? And in the choir, they talk about crescendos, right? And when you have crescendos, you start down and you, right? So it's understanding that ebb and the flow of when you need to have that crescendo and when you need to kind of mellow, just really being aware of when it works best and when it adds value and really contributes to the greater good of whatever the thing that's going on.
Why would you say the woman's sense of community is more than man lacking that area, but the woman's just does so well in that area?
Because we are community. We're the mothership, right? So when we talk about community, women in general, they are the ones that births the community. And when a woman births the community, it's only the mother who can nurse the baby. The father can't. And not saying that the father doesn't have value, because there's absolute value in the father, but only the mother can nurse the baby. That's building that community. That's nurturing. That's giving all the things that's needed in that space that can only come from this one source. Yes, we can. I mean, of course, there's variables and other alternatives, but when we think about the building of community, it's the mom that kids and children are typically more attached to, because of the how God created like the baby to grow in the mother's womb and the connection that's there. So women are the mothership of community. And granted, I do want to make a disclaimer. All women aren't created equal, right? Like, not everybody fits into that space. Every woman is a woman, but every woman isn't the mothership of community. Not everybody has those qualities, and not everybody kind of possesses that. Not saying that they can't. It's just that it's not created equal. Majority of women do, just because it's an innate thing that's within us, that you don't have to think about. Certain things just come innate when you're a woman. It just happens. Yeah.
You said the roles of women in the past and right now in the present hasn't changed, but has added more responsibility. She still has to come home and take care of the family. How do you see that playing out in the future?
It's That's not going to change. It's going to still, because that's the role. That's the that old saying that says, mama's baby, daddy's maybe. Like, the woman is going to always have to assume that role. And fortunately, or unfortunately, however you want to look at it, men have more flexibility to leave the home, go work, go enjoy themselves, do these things. But the mother has more responsibility, if a mother just leaves a family, oh my goodness, she's the worst woman in the world. But it's okay if a man leaves the family, because the mother just has more influence and more connection in the family structure. Um, when we think about managing the roles, it just comes with the territory. Like, we almost have to be and do it all. And maybe that's because we can't leave it up to chance, or we haven't been in a place where if we leave it up to chance, can we depend on our counterparts to assume the role and do well? Now, here's the thing. Here's the thing that's a little different. I believe that there are a large number of men who are stepping up in ways that men have not presented themselves in the past. We have more dads who are more involved in their kids' lives. We have dads doing their little girls' hairs and getting their fingernails polished and putting makeup on their face to be a play date to their daughters. We have men who are in the kitchen cooking dinner, and we have men who are ensuring that the family is taken care of. So there's a more presence of the man that's being a collaborative of an effective collaborative partner in this sense than what we've seen in the past. So I think it's a fair share across, across the board of what we see. But still, at the end of the day, um, I just think women still have more responsibility when it comes to family and community and building that space. And the other part, when we think about it from a numbers perspective, right? There's just more women in the world than there are men as well.
What advice would you give to the men's right now? How can we um, um, better serve our women's help out?
So this is a great question. One, I have a heart. Like I have a heart for our men and our kings, and I love women. I think women are great, but I think there's a almost like this species that's becoming extinct a little bit, right? So I have a special place in this. Advice I would give to men in this particular arena of how they can serve or how they can show up better for women is to continue to be available, continue to also serve, right? Like, we should all be in a place where we're trying to outserve each other without keeping score, right? Like, contribute to the greater good, take the steps and be actionable about how to become more um, emotionally vulnerable, how to be more present, how to create and curate more better communication skills, how to collaborate, and how to reach goals and reach the vision that's in place by not being a dictatorship, but being a creating partnership, holding space and allowing women to be heard, seen, and valued. Figuring out ways of how to support them, figuring out ways of like, let me understand. There's a saying, seek to understand before you seek to be understood. Just be in the posture of trying to understand more. And I think we all can do a better job of that.
What would you say to women right now? Because we know we have a lot of women going to be watching this, a lot of young girls going to be watching this right now. How can they be all they can be?
I think my advice to young girls, women, and alike, and no matter what your age, but whoever you are, is continuously put the work and the action forward to become your best. Um, be consistent about creating more self-awareness and more community awareness. Um, think of your puzzle piece and how it attaches to the puzzle piece of the world. How can you be a contributor and not just a giver? Um, really focusing on personal growth, grow personally, like really take the time, the energy, the investment to grow personally. When you begin to grow personally, you begin to change the trajectory of your life and the lives of your family and the lives of the future. So And don't get so consumed with the noise of media and entertainment and all those things that distracts you from your purpose. Get very clear on what your values are, get very clear on your purpose, get very clear on the path, and give yourself grace and know that at any moment you can change. At any moment you can be and you can become whatever it is that you want to be and become. You just have to ensure that you are being intentional, that you're being actionable, and that you're there to really make a difference and an impact.
Can you give us some information of how to reach you? I know some people are going to be listening to this, some men and women are going to be listening to this. Oh boy, what she's saying, it's right up my alley. How can they reach out? How can they
Yeah,
contact you?
absolutely. So I'm available on all social media platforms at Inspiring Joy Inc. That's INC. My website is also inspiringjoyinc.com. Yeah, and through any of those channels, whether it's social media, that's Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, or my website, all of those informations also have links to contact me further, whether that's by email or whether that's scheduling a call with me.
That's good. Do you have any last words you want to share to the women out there that's going to be watching this?
Yeah, I think my last words of encouragement is to incorporate I will more in our vocabulary. I will and I am. And those are in positive and in a positive frame of mind where I will be the change. I will take the action. I will show up 100%. I will accomplish, I will overcome, I will heal. Like, just be in that mind frame, because one thing that I am a believer of and is one of my personal mantras is be intentional, because anything is possible, right? Like, don't allow your past circumstances, your past experiences, or anything that has taken place, what somebody else has said about you or to you, interfere with all the things that's possible for you and to you. So, yeah.
That is so powerful. That is so powerful. Boy, you got so many books that we waiting for to get our hands on. But we definitely got to get you back on, do a follow up on the guys. You said a lot of things.
Absolutely. I would absolutely love
We
that.
definitely want to.
Yeah.
I already feel it right there. So that's
Yeah.
going to be part 2. So everybody get ready. It's going to be a part 2. So we're so thankful. Thank you so much for your time.
Absolutely.
We appreciate you so much. Thank you so
And
much.
thank you.
All right. Have a good one.
You as well.